Turki Alalshikh has exposed Canelo Alvarez for turning down the Terence Crawford fight, pricing himself out of it completely. And, Turki Alalshikh accuses Canelo of taking easier fights. I think it's something that, the fans have been calling out for a while. Like, when are people, I don't remember the last time I've been so ridiculously hyped to watch a Canelo fight. I personally think Canelo will beat Crawford. Don't think it would be too difficult. But if Canelo wins the fight, he'll get a massive, massive bloody payday for it. And we know that for a fact. But still, though, Canelo's pricing himself out so massively. He gets a big payday anyway. But Turkey's accusing him of wanting to take easier fights in, Belonga. And, Canelo, it's clear as day as well. He completely priced him out of that David Benavidez fight. And, Turki Alalshikh was respectful to him and not making that one and, going on trying to get the Crawford fight done. But again, he can't get Canelo to budge. Canelo just wants to fight his mandatories. But at the end of the day, people will be like, oh, well, Belonga is a mandatory and it's fine. But at the end of the day, though, Turki Alalshikh could have paid the governing bodies off. He could have paid Belonga off and got Canelo this big fight against Terence Crawford, or could have made a fight against David Benavidez. But Canelo's been turning these fights down. And once again, we hear something else that Canelo was happy to take a fight with Chris Eubank Jr., who's not even in his weight class, not even. And, Eubank Jr. is not even a top mandatory in middleweight anyway. So it's literally a pointless fight, Canelo and Chris Eubank Jr. once again. And I think Turkey's right about Canelo turning down these big fights, pricing himself out just so he can take these easier fights for, as big of money as he possibly can. But they probably still aren't as big a paydays as the Crawford and David Benavidez fight, which Turki Alalshikh could surely easily be able to make if Canelo wasn't pricing himself out of these fights. And overall, I think Turki Alalshikh's doing exactly the right thing, wanting to focus on people like Boots, Terence Crawford, Devin Haney, William Zepeda. He's doing the right thing. Tank and all that as well. He's doing the right things in wanting to have his focus on them, people who won't price themselves out of fights and people who want to fight the best. And yes, Canelo has done fantastic in his career. His resume is absolutely unreal and is one of the best in boxing, 100%. But it's now later on in his career, he's now declining these fights, these big fights that could really secure his legacy, that David Benavidez fight and the Terence Crawford fight. And he's just massively pricing himself out. And people will say, people still make out that Crawford's ducking it or that David Benavidez is ducking him, when Canelo is very clearly pricing himself out. And Turki Alalshikh, who pays these fighters God knows how much money, and Canelo is somehow still pricing himself out of these fights. That is saying something if Turki Alalshikh can't get you enough money to fight. Very, very, very clearly Canelo is turning down these fights. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But Turki Alalshikh's doing the right thing, not wasting his time with Canelo and getting people who really want to be in there against the best in their division on these cards. And Turki Alalshikh is doing exactly the right thing, not wasting his time, not begging Canelo, not getting Turki Alalshikh's not bowing down to Canelo consistently, because that's what everyone else does. And luckily, we've got someone in Turki Alalshikh who's not doing that. He's completely given up on Canelo now and wants to focus on other fighters, because Canelo's completely messing everyone around. When, again, you didn't have to do this Belonga fight. Yes, he's a mandatory, but again, when money's involved from someone like Turki Alalshikh, if you don't have to, he did not have to do this fight. You don't have to do this fight if Turki Alalshikh's involved with the amount of money he's got where he can pay you off. You probably didn't have to do the Munguia fight either, because he could have paid him off and, tried to get him a David Benavidez fight. But at the end of the day, that didn't happen because Canelo's pricing himself out of a Saudi Arabia fight card, which makes zero sense whatsoever. It makes no sense. Why would Canelo price himself out of fighting in Saudi Arabia with Turki Alalshikh's massive bags that he's paying you? I don't understand. So very, very, very clearly at this point in Canelo's career, he just wants to take the easier options. And I think that's the sad thing right now, because I think if Canelo I mean, look, Canelo has great legacy already, but if he really wanted to cement himself as one of the best, then, he's right now, Canelo is not doing himself any favors whatsoever. And if Turki Alalshikh is calling you a time waster, that is something. That is something. No boxer that I can think of has turned down a payday from Turki Alalshikh to fight Berlanga. I just don't. It's not a great fight at all. It's not a fan-friendly fight. Canelo and Berlanga. He could, honestly, Turki Alalshikh, with the money he's got involved, he somehow can't persuade Canelo to fight on his shows on Riyadh season. It is unbelievable, in my opinion. Unbelievable. It's something which I just can't wrap my head around. Why Canelo is not taking these big fights that could really cement his legacy. Terence Crawford, I think, is very winnable for him based on the weights, 100%. And again, David Benavidez is a fight with, it's a massive fan-friendly fight that everyone wants to see. But Canelo doesn't want to give the fans that fight. He's pricing himself out, and clearly he does not care what the fans think about. He does not care what the fans think about this sport. He does not care whatsoever. He's not in it he's not in it to entertain. He's just there for the bag. Most boxers are in it for the bag, of course, but they're also in the game to entertain the fans. And Canelo right now is not one of them at all. And it's a big shame. But I just don't get why he turned down these fights when he'll get his biggest bag possible anyway. I don't get it. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to end this video here. Thanks for watching this video. Speak to you on the